Hello, everyone. Grand evening. It is Friday, August 1st, 17:20 hours in the evening, and we have some very concerning news. We have a possible mutually assured destruction scenario that is developing. We'll get to that very shortly. So recently we had that interstellar object. They believe it's some kind of, it might be an alien ship in the solar system. And this was some days ago. Scientists have gave a chilling update on the mysterious interstellar object that has been racing through our solar system. As they warn, it's even bigger than we thought. So it's even larger, it's very fast, and I believe it's possibly millions of years old, this interstellar object that's in the solar system. In similar news, related, on the night of September 7th to 8th, nearly 7 billion people, about 85% of the world population, will witness a total lunar eclipse. So that's some of the nicer things outside of this apocalyptic news that we're going to get into right now. So the Chinese are just about ready to invade Taiwan. It's been about a year or so in the making, and it's coming out more and more that the Chinese are just about ready to invade Taiwan. They think they are. It's not gonna. It's very likely not going to go very well for them at all. As I've said in the past, Japan is right there, not far from Taiwan. Then Australia may get involved, and then the US would be behind them as well, backing those two up, and Taiwan. So we'll see exactly how that goes, but it's really looking like the Chinese are going to try and invade Taiwan. Here's a more news on that. The Chinese army has carried out a massive deployment of military personnel to Fujian, a city close to Taiwan. According to local sources, only the operation order of President Xi Jinping is currently awaited. So it appears the Chinese are ready to the extent where they're just waiting on the order from President Xi Jinping, and then they're going to go and invade Taiwan. Absolutely huge news. We'll see what happens with that. Again, I heavily emphasize this is not likely going to go very well at all for the Chinese. Yeah, they have such massive numbers. That's some of the only things they have, and their nuclear forces, things like that. But they're not going to nuke Taiwan. We're going to see exactly how that unfolds. It could be in the coming days that this invasion happens by all this breaking news on the subject. Now we have this. So Trump, Lindsey Graham, and Dmitry Medvedev of Russia, they've been going back and forth recently. It's been very aggressive. So Trump has ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions after the highly provocative Russian statements, especially mainly from Dmitry Medvedev. We might look at that in a moment. So this is from President Trump himself, what he wrote. Based on the highly provocative statements of the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, who is now the deputy chairman of the Security Council of the Russian Federation, I have ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions, just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that. Words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Wow. Absolutely huge. This is just apocalyptic news right here. I mean, Trump is just openly saying, "Oh, I'm going to put 2 nuclear submarines in the right regions." It is really seeming that he's going to try, the U.S. may try a decapitation strike on Russia. They might not be moving those nuclear submarines there for no reason. There's always a very big reason for doing something like that, especially that he's saying this out in the open. It's pretty mind-blowing that he's announcing that he's doing that. He's not thinking of it's literally just as he said there, words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. Well, Trump doing this and saying this could lead to Russia doing a preemptive strike on the US and NATO. They could do the same thing at any time now. This is a very, very treacherous time now due to this situation. This is from Sky News.
Well, you just have to read what he said. He was.
What he
Medvedev say to you that made you really mad? Well, you just have to read what he said. He was talking about nuclear. When you talk about nuclear, we have to be prepared, and we're totally prepared. What did Medvedev say to you that made you really mad? Well, you just have to read what he said. He was talking about nuclear. When you talk about nuclear, we have to be prepared, and we're totally prepared.
Absolutely apocalyptic news. This is unheard of. This is really bad. This is like as close to nuclear war for sure as it has ever been. This is extremely concerning. And Dmitry Medvedev was mentioning recently about the dead hand system. So if the Russian leadership gets taken out, all of the nuclear weapons could be launched at the US and other nuclear targets. Absolutely treacherous times these are. This is, I can't emphasize enough how dangerous this time is, that it might go all the way to mutually assured destruction. So if the Russian leadership gets taken out, everything could launch. All the nuclear weapons at all the targets could launch. Maybe the entire nuclear arsenal of Russia could launch all at the targets all around the world. It's a very, very serious situation. It's very close to nuclear war at this time. Let's see if we could find what he said, Dmitry Medvedev. There he is. This guy's always been a little very open with what he says and does. So that is another thing Trump did recently. He's giving Russia an ultimatum of about 50, 60 days. Now he reduced it to about 10. So it was September 3rd. Now it is August 8th. That right around August 8th is when the ultimatum is going to Russia. And Dmitry Medvedev came out and said he should remember two things. Russia isn't Israel or even Iran. Each new ultimatum is a threat and a step towards war. He actually says war. Not between Russia and Ukraine, but with his own country. Don't go down the Sleepy Joe road, he says, referring to Joe Biden, the former president. So Dmitry Medvedev is coming out very openly, saying all these things. Trump is taking it very, very seriously. They're both going back and forth and taking things very aggressive and seriously now. This is a seriously concerning, dangerous time. It's crazy some of the things this guy says. But he's finally being taken serious. Somewhere he mentioned the dead hand system. Let's see if I could find it in a moment. This is from not long ago either. $1.11 trillion has been wiped out from the U.S. stock market today. That's quite a stock market crash. Over $1 trillion just wiped out of the stock market. That's what I'm saying. For a long time, everybody should have been out of the stock market. If you're not yet, get everything out of there and diversify your assets into physical assets. The stock market is going totally down. It's going to collapse soon. There's not going to be any trading or anything like that in the stock market, especially when China invades Taiwan shortly. It's going to just be gone. Let me see if I could find it where Dmitry Medvedev said about the dead hand system. I think I found it. Let me get a lot of these things out of the way. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev has issued a stark reminder to U.S. President Donald Trump about Russia's devastating nuclear strike capabilities, including its so-called doomsday systems. The warning came amid escalating rhetoric between world powers. Notably, Trump warned Medvedev to watch his words. Where is it exactly that he mentions it? There's a lot of ads where I'm looking here. I see. Hang on, I'm skimming through it. Trump warned that if a ceasefire is not reached within 10 days, he will impose sanctions on Russia and its oil buyers. He said both Russia and India can go down with their dead economy. In response, Medvedev reminded Trump about his favorite film, Walking Dead, recalling the Soviet era, how dangerous the fabled dead hand can be. I don't know what this Walking Dead thing is. It might be some kind of error, grammatical error. I don't know what that's about. But this is what makes sense. Recalling the Soviet era, how dangerous the fabled dead hand can be. So Dmitry Medvedev has warned President Trump about the dead hand system and how dangerous it could be. Dead hand, also known as the perimeter, is a Cold War era semi-automated retaliation system. It is termed as Russia's doomsday device. It is for a post-apocalyptic scenario. The terrifying purpose of this device is to launch a retaliatory strike, even if the Russian leadership is completely wiped out. The dead hand is designed to detect nuclear strikes through seismic, radiation, and pressure sensors. Then it would check if the Russian hierarchy of command is still functional. If communication from the top leadership is lost and no human input is received, it will automatically trigger a nuclear launch from the missile silos, submarines, and mobile launchers at preset targets. The machine is the last resort to ensure mutual destruction. The Doomsday Radio is believed to be the communication system for the dead hand. It transmits commands, launch codes to the dead hand. It is an ultra-low frequency radio system that is designed to survive if all communication systems are destroyed. Together, they make the Doomsday System the last stage of the Cold War era deterrence. Even though the reality of the Doomsday Radio is debatable, the dead hand is real. But much about it is shrouded in mystery. Very scary, very interesting stuff when it comes to this dead hand system. That was on it's a Wyon News. It's some kind of world news website. And that's where I was reading the article. Absolutely huge news we had here. I will be back soon with the next one, possibly Sunday. Gonna try not to go 2 weeks before coming back on here again. This is quite the apocalyptic and treacherous time. I'll be on very high alert watching the nuclear situation and the Taiwan situation as they develop. Until next time, love, light, and blessings to you all. Diversify your assets. Keep on preparing. I hope to see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.